company called Rayovac.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
Or is it closed down? Is it still? Thank something. I mean, you got the batteries down. I should have, I'm going to put my glasses on now so you're all feel free to laugh. Now I'm going to read about, I was working at this place called Rayovac, and I think my brother worked there. I think he might even have been the one who suggested that I go, that I get a job there. And I went there, and I was, I didn't think I'd get the job. At least I couldn't understand. I'd never been able to understand why anybody would hire me. But they did, and so, I wish they had. I mean, it was a terrible job. But I'm going to read about, oh yeah, here we are. Okay. I'm going to read about having lunch at Rayovac. We only got we got 7.5 minutes for coffee break, and we got 15 minutes for lunch. And so, we eat quickly. Because we wanted to save most of our time for having a cigarette after that. Okay, Sanjay and I reached the lunchroom and hurriedly opened our lunch boxes. My co-worker had a nice chicken curry in his thermos, and I had a bologna on stale white bread. Other sad sacks from other parts of the production floor also sat down to eat. Conversation was minimal, and the only sounds were of hungry workers getting ready to chow down. Wax paper crinkled, cutlery tinkled, and the soft drink machine jingled merrily as thirsty souls fed coins into it. The idea was to eat 5 minutes or less and spend the remaining time smoking and talking. I had nothing more to say, but I liked to have a peaceful smoke before returning to the front. That cigarette was the best one of the day. Then, just as I was about to sink my teeth into a sandwich, the lunchroom door flew open and a gangle of suits waltzed in. Everyone stopped what they were doing because the suits rarely set foot in the factory. What were they doing here, and what did they want? We would soon find out. A little man, bald but for a gray fringe around the ears, stepped to the front of the lunchroom to address the workers. I recognized him as Rayovac's CEO, though we never exchanged words. To him, I was a number on the payroll. I'd never get a chance to piss in his coffee, a little shit knuckle. Gentlemen, said the CEO, clearing his throat pompously, I'll keep it short and sweet. So you fellows go ahead and eat your lunch. This is a very special day, and we are here to celebrate the retirement of a valued employee who's been with us for 36 long years. I want you to take a good look at Andrew Meeks, because he is a shining example of what can be accomplished with a little hard work and a lot of ambition. Andrew started here on the C-cell line in 1947, and though he suffered a number of personal tragedies, the courageous fellow eventually worked his way up to management position. It has been our pleasure to work alongside, Andrew, and for all this time, and as a small token of our appreciation, we would like to present him with this gold watch. The CEO smiled a phony smile and beckoned to a shriveled old geezer who was even shorter and more decrepit looking than he was. Andrew, come on up here and get your watch. Meeks hobbled obediently to the front of the lunchroom to receive his reward. Halfway there, the old duffer stopped to cough alarmingly. Bending over with his hands on his knees, he hacked until he was purple. I thought for sure that Meeks was finished, but he miraculously recovered and continued his long journey. This was his payoff for 36 years of back-making monotony, and if the creaky old fucker didn't cough up his guts along the way, he would get his watch. Bet you $10 the old coot doesn't make it, I whispered to Sanjay. He's got the black lung. Sanjay frowned. This is not a very nice thing to be saying. If you must be so rude, then I will take your bet. His dark eyes glittered with amusement. Forget it, I said, losing my nerve. I took a massive bite of my sandwich and watched with amazement as Meeks finally reached his destination. He shook hands with the CEO and peered out at us with watery eyes, blinking rapidly behind Coke bottle lenses. The old coffin dodger had both feet and an arm in the grave. Why didn't you lay down and die? Thank you, John. It's been an honor to work here at Rayovac. And though I haven't done a shift on the C-cell machine in many years, I still remember the noise that old beast made if you accidentally put a can in backwards. Meeks grinned mischievously, and for a second I caught a tiny glimpse of the man he had once been. Don't tell anyone, but occasionally I'd send a can in backwards just to get a little bit of a break. Not that I want anyone to get any ideas, he chuckled, swiveling his scabby old head to see if we appreciate his candor. John didn't look amused. Meeks's words shocked me. My jaw hung open, the unchewed food like sawdust in my mouth. Would I be standing where Meeks was one day? Would I be a shriveled old fuck waiting for a slightly less shriveled old fuck to give me a watch? Meeks was retiring, so why did he need a crummy watch? Why did they give him the watch when he started? Better yet, why didn't they give me the watch? I was the one having problems getting to work on time, not him. They probably knew I'd take it to the pawn shop straight away. Real Mac had shoved the watch up their asses, the bastards. Meeks had a few other things to say. I'd be lying if I said I enjoyed working here all these years. But with a family to feed and no education, I had little choice. I'm an old man now, but I do things differently if given the opportunity. I wanted to travel the world, but instead I wasted my life in this gloomy dungeon. Now I've got my gold watch. I'll probably sit in front of the TV for a few years before kicking the bucket halfway through a rerun of Tom Relic P.I. I'll shut my mouth now because I know you men have better things to do than listen to some tired old fool flap his gums. I will say this, however. Go back to school if you can. Don't waste your life in this dump. Goodbye and good luck. They all clapped like bastards, except John, who just stood there looking flustered, ill at ease. I sat there thinking about putting cans in the machine backwards, and I thought that I'd been doing that for quite a while now, and I thought that was my little gig, to take a break. Every time I wanted to cause a little hell, I just slip one of those cans in backwards, and blammo. Anyway, there was no way John could punish Meeks for speaking so candidly, and now we had to give him his watch. The CEO held up his hands to stop the thunderous applause. When the uproar finally died down a bit, he cleared his throat nervously. That Andrew has always been a great kidder. Chuckled the executive, trying to laugh it off. I could stand here and joke with you men all day, but I can see that we're almost out of time. He dug in his pocket and produced a small object, which he handed to Meeks. Here's your watch, Andrew. May you cherish it for many years to come. Yeah, right, I thought. He must be hoping that Meeks will drop dead of the black lung ASAP. Meeks opened the little box and held the gold watch up for the men to see. From my seat at the front, it sure didn't look like anything special. I was sure they wouldn't give me much for it at the pawn shop. 36 years and this was a payoff? Such a thing hardly seemed fair. The suits left and we finished our smokes. I went back to work feeling subdued and defeated. Did I want to end up like Meeks? At least the bastard had a little fire in him. Sanjay started the machine and gave me a cold look. He was on to me. Thanks again. I guess we're not finished with you yet. Huh?
We're going to take a short intermission.
Oh, saved by the bell.
Been there. Sam, do you mind if I go first? All right. So I want to talk about politics and
my favorite subject.
Politics and punk culture for a moment. You'll know what I'm talking about, Chris. The adoption of anarchist symbols and terminology in some parts of punk culture made it appear to be a political movement, But it seems to me that punk culture was more a reaction to the hopeless debacle of nuclear proliferation and its love affair with nihilism was intended to make a mockery of politics and political correctness in particular.
Well, it started off, I think, more as a nihilistic thing, and that's what attracted to me in the first place. I didn't get into punk rock because I wanted to save the world from nuclear annihilation. I wanted to destroy it personally. So it was great, and getting into punk rock and just smashing shit. And